Atheism. The very word sparks images of fiery debates, philosophical arguments, and internet forums where people wage intellectual wars over the existence of God. For most people, atheism is just a rejection of belief in deities, a simple negation. It's not a religion, they say. It's the absence of one. But what if I told you that atheism, despite all the insistence to the contrary, can function as a religion? In my previous video on this channel about how atheism can be a religion, I explained that, contrary to dictionary definitions, not all religions require worshiping a deity, and what actually defines a religion is those beliefs a person holds that gives their life purpose. But what if I told you that throughout history, people have created structured belief systems, communities, and even rituals centered around an atheist worldview? Today, we're diving deep into a side of atheism many people today are unaware about. To understand how atheism and religion can intersect, we need to go back to revolutionary France. The late 18th century was a time of radical upheaval. The French Revolution wasn't just about overthrowing a monarchy, it was about dismantling an entire worldview. The Catholic Church had long been one of the pillars of power, and revolutionaries saw it as an obstacle to progress. But instead of just removing the Church's influence, they did something unexpected. They tried to replace it. Enter the cult of reason. This was one of history's first attempts to construct a completely atheist religion. Established by radical revolutionaries such as Jacques Hébert, Pierre-Gaspard Chaumette, and Antoine-François Montmoreau, the cult of reason was meant to be a new belief system centered around human reason and civic virtue. Traditional Christian churches were repurposed into temples of reason, where people gathered not to worship a deity, but to celebrate human intellect and progress. Secular festivals replaced traditional religious holidays, and instead of hymns, people sang songs about liberty and rationality. But despite its lofty ideals, the cult of reason didn't last long. The revolution consumed itself, and with it, its experiments in secular spirituality. When Napoleon Bonaparte seized power over France, he banned the cult of reason in 1802. But the idea of an atheist religion didn't die there. It re-emerged in the 19th century, thanks to one man, Auguste Comte. A famous mathematician and philosopher, Comte sought to establish a new social doctrine based on science, which he labeled positivism, and outlined in a series of publications he produced by 1830 to 1842, he titled The Course in Positive Philosophy. If you've ever heard of the field of sociology, you have Comte to thank. He's considered the father of the field, as his positivism philosophy is directly responsible for the creation of the term sociology itself, and its approach to using empirical methods of inquiry for studying human social issues. But Comte was not satisfied with merely studying society. He wanted to reshape it, and he thought he had the perfect solution to do so. Comte created what he called the religion of humanity. It was a secular system of belief meant to guide people morally and socially without relying on the supernatural. In Comte's vision, humanity itself was sacred. The religion of humanity had churches, clergy, and even rituals. Instead of worshiping a god, people were encouraged to venerate great human thinkers and contributors to civilization. Comte designed a calendar with secular saints, from Isaac Newton to Socrates, and he structured moral teachings around principles of altruism and social progress. This might sound bizarre, but what Comte did was create a religion in every sense of the word, except for the supernatural part. There were moral teachings, structured community gatherings, ceremonies, and a higher purpose, except that higher purpose was humanity itself. The religion of humanity even had a priesthood. Famous atheist Thomas Huxley described Comte's new religion as Catholicism minus Christianity. Comte's religion of humanity was for a time very popular in Brazil, and several temples of humanity still operate today. Unfortunately, Comte's movement never gained massive traction, yet his ideas influenced future secular humanist movements that sought to provide a sense of meaning and purpose to the lives of people without the baggage of traditional superstitious faith in deities. Now let's fast forward to 1877. The world was changing. The body of scientific knowledge was advancing rapidly, and industrialization was transforming society. People were starting to question traditional religion more than ever before. Enter Felix Adler, a philosopher who believed that morality didn't need to come from divine authority. Originally a Reformed Jew, Adler developed his own ethical moral framework, deriving ideas from the writings of Immanuel Kant and Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel to create a version of ethical idealism. He founded the ethical culture movement as a means of spreading his ideology dedicated to ethical living and social justice, all without relying on superstitious beliefs. At its core, ethical culture was about doing good for the sake of good. Its adherents formed communities, much like churches, where they gathered to discuss moral philosophy, educate children, and engage in humanitarian efforts. They had their own form of Sunday services, meetings centered around lectures and discussions on how to live ethically. The movement spread, leading to the formation of ethical societies across the United States and Europe. While later in the 1950s, many ethical culture chapters became absorbed into the network of secular humanism, promoted by Julian Sorel Huxley, that merged eugenics with ethical culture ideas to become the Humanist International Organization. Even today, ethical culture congregations adhering more closely to Felix Adler's original ideas continue to exist, offering a structured secular alternative to traditional religion. As an aside, if it surprises you to hear that Humanist International promotes a version of humanism based on eugenics ideology, you should watch my previous video, Why Abortion is Not Secular Humanism, the Eugenics Roots of Humanist International. I go more into depth about how Julian Huxley hijacked the meaning of humanism to promote a eugenics-based ideology which the organization has continued to promote to the present day, which, just so we're clear, I absolutely do not agree with. My views on humanism are closer aligned to the original meaning of the term, and I find ideologies like eugenics both pseudoscientific and horrific. Now, if you thought new organized secular communities are a thing of the past, think again. In 2013, a group of comedians, yes, comedians, started what has become at present the most well-known secular congregation in the world, the Sunday Assembly. Founded by Sanderson Jones and Pippa Evans in London, the Sunday Assembly is essentially a church service without God. It has music, inspirational talks, a sense of community, and even a guiding philosophy: live better, help often, and wonder more. It's designed to bring people together who want the communal benefits of religion, without the supernatural elements, while not explicitly atheist in that they allow people of all kinds of belief systems to attend the meetings. In many ways, the Sunday Assembly is proof that people, even those who reject traditional faith, still crave ritual, meaning, and shared experience. As a final example of atheism as a religion is the Chivalric Humanism that I developed and have talked about in other videos on this channel. Chivalric Humanism is a secular virtue-based moral framework and ethical philosophy that offers a pathway to personal development, community service, and a fulfilling life guided by virtue. It draws on the rich tapestry of the chivalric codes of old, while infusing them with modern understandings of psychology, sociology, and philosophy. Books explaining the philosophy are available for free download from the chivalrichumanism.com website. So, what does all of this tell us? Atheism isn't an absence of belief. In addition to a naturalistic science-based worldview, it can also be used to develop a guiding philosophy, even a way of life. And for many, atheism is something worth building a community around. While some atheists are content to live without any form of structured belief, others have sought to create spaces where people can find meaning, purpose, and ethical guidance without appealing to the divine. Atheist religions might not worship a god, but they do what religion has always done: provide a sense of belonging, moral guidance, and a framework for making sense of the world. The line between religion and philosophy, belief and non-belief, is blurrier than we may at first think. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to this channel for more videos about atheism and philosophy topics, and check out the past videos I've created on this channel. Also consider sharing this video to others on social media to help share the information you've learned. Thank you.